Alright, this is Marcus the Fingaz back with part 2 of the video we started yesterday, or was it a couple days ago? I don't know what a day is anymore in these times, but this is the video where I'm going to show you the master channel strip plugins and apps I'm using on the iPad here in Beatmaker 3. So here we go. So here I am in Beatmaker 3, and what we'll do is we'll go to audio effects and we'll go to our mixer here and we'll select main out, which is the first channel strip there. So these are the plugins I have on main out. Like I said, I may or may not use them all. So right now I don't have a beat or anything. I just have a sample from Illmind. We can turn that up a little bit. It's from his, it's called the, I believe it is called the Shaolin Story Samples Volume 2 kit. So just so we have a reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the master channel here, and we're going to go through these plugins. So Morphit, this is a plugin by Toneboosters. What you can do with this is basically have the EQ preset to headphones that you're using. So there's a number down here at the bottom left where it says headphones, and it says generic studio. You can scroll through a number of brands and options here. So usually I'm either using the Apple earpods. So if you go to Apple, you have earpods, you have the earbuds, and you have earpods. You also have AirPods if you're using that. But there's so many brands here, and then sometimes I may use the Beats Studio 3 wireless, but they are the wired. I use the wire with those. So right now, obviously, I'm using the Apple earpods. So we'll select that, and then you have to tap it twice, and the EQ is selected there. So that's the EQ to make these sort of flatten the EQ response on these headphones. So whatever headphones you choose, if you're using the Audio-Technica ATH M series, they have the M40 3020s, they have all those in there. So there's a lot of brands, you can scroll through them. So I use that, and I don't know if you'll hear a difference, but will it play? So this is with it off, and this is with it on. So you might be able to hear a subtle difference. And then from that, I go to stereo width. Usually with this, what I'm doing is taking the first band all the way down to 0. That's the low end, so trying to keep that straight up and down in the middle. The middle band I might keep right at 100. Band 3, usually 110, 140, somewhere in that range. And then band 4, I just crank all the way up. So as you go up the frequency spectrum, the sound seems to be wider around like your ears on the sides. This is without. And this is with. Take it out. So actually it didn't take, so we're going to do that one more time. I was about to say I wasn't hearing it, so let's do, I think we had 100 here, 130-ish, and then 200. Let's hit play. There you go. So you can actually change some of the frequencies here. Let's do that. So you can start to see how that affects. So if I bring up this bottom band here, you'll see how it becomes more in the center. And then if I bring down the top band, you see how it becomes more around the sides. So that's how it's sort of building up as you go up the frequency spectrum. Let's set that, actually we'll turn that off for now. Then from that, I go into Reelbus, and I usually go to one of these master tape presets, 30 or 15, depending on the sound I'm going for. So I'll play the differences. So this is at currently at master bus 15. And then if we turn that off, and you also hear some of that tape noise in the background, if you want to get some of that like analog hiss and things. This is the master tape 30. Actually, let's turn that back on. We're going to go to master tape 30. So just add some subtle tape saturation is what that is. Then from that, I go to Barricade, and here I go to Subtle Glue, so it's adding more. And again, I may or may not use these in order. I may just use one or a couple of them. So this is the Toneboosters Barricade on the Subtle Glue preset. Here's it off. And here it is on. And you can, there's some videos online where you can see what some of those settings do and change the settings. And then probably the most one that you hear after that is this bark filter. I usually go to bark filter, and I go to the presets here on the right. Right now it says deep holes, but I go down to this triple band preset. Usually use the default settings. You might turn down the output gain if it's too loud. But this is what that's doing. So this is it off. And this is with it on. So it immediately brings definitely more volume, but more energy. So even if you had it relatively the same volume, you hear an energy difference. That's about the same volume. So this is with it off. And this is with it on. So usually I do a little bit of volume boost just to bring up some level there. And then I may or may not go back into Barricade by Toneboosters and do this limiter programs preset, which is another just sort of limiter at the end. And here's what that's doing. This is with it off. And this is with it on. So it's very subtle. You may not hear it right now if we're not meeting the threshold, but that's the gist of it. So I'll turn them all on. I believe I messed some of these frequency ranges up, but we'll try to get them back in the generic order they were. And then if you use whatever you use on the main out, if you do use Morphit, what you want to do is when you're done mixing, you want to turn that off before you export. Otherwise, it will keep those settings, and these are just the settings for the headphones you're using. So definitely turn that off as you're exporting the file. But we'll turn them on one by one. So here we go. And right now they're off because you see the power button next to each plugin. They're grayed out. Once they're on or engaged, they will be red. They will be red. So here we go. I won't play the whole sample, but that's shout out to Illmind for some dope, incredible samples. But yeah, that's what I have currently on the channel master channel strip. This is changing frequently and often, but this is the current setup I'm using. Again, I may not use all of these. I may use one or none of them, but that's just the setup I use. If you have any questions, let me know. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.